You can have a lot of money and still feel trapped. Did you know that you can have success and still feel anxious? And did you know that you can have all the opportunity of the world and still feel stuck? Because if you don't have internal freedom, external freedom just won't satisfy you. And today, that's what we're going to talk about.
Welcome to Freedom Friday, where we talk about what freedom really means. Financial freedom, personal freedom, spiritual freedom, and the American freedom we're blessed to live in. Every Friday we wear red to remember everyone deployed and honor those who protect it. Let's build freedom, intentionally. Now here's our live stream host, Mike Baltazar.
Hey, thank you so much for that introduction, Donovan, and happy Friday to everybody out there. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And I thank you if you're wearing red today. And again, I wear red on Fridays because it's an acronym, R.E.D, for Remembering Everyone Deployed, because Fridays are super cool and our weekends are amazing, but because there's some men and women out there serving this country, this awesome country, and making sure that we have a great place to rest, relax, and have a good time. Hey, so obviously I opened up with something super deep, and I don't want to downplay that in any way, shape, or form. But on this Freedom Friday, I want to talk about internal freedom, because we could have all of the smarts in the world. We could be book smart, we could have experience smart, but if there's no freedom right here inside, if we're prisoners of our minds or our past experiences or our imaginations or whatever the case may be, spiritual, emotional, then all of the quote unquote successes and accomplishments that we have in this world, it's tasteless. It's almost meaningless. And I know that a lot of us, are still trying to figure this out. I am too. But one of my biggest takeaways in my 48 plus years of living is that, there's so much more to external freedom that could be appreciated more, that could be appreciated for exactly what it is if I was more whole on the inside. And so just seeking that internal freedom. And I have 3 little ones at home. And so, I want to be a shining example to them. I want to shape them with the stuff I wish I was shaped with growing up. And so on this Freedom Friday, I do want to talk about that a little bit. And one of the things that was told to me the other day, and it really stuck out with me, and I wrote it down, and that's that external success doesn't guarantee peace. I had a really, really good friend of mine. He might be watching this. And so, Mike, hey, if you're out there, I love you, bro. Let's catch up. He said, you can out earn your problems. And at that time, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a cool concept. Is that even possible? If that's the case, then you know what? I'm going to go out and make more money. And actually, that following year, I almost doubled my highest output in my entire career up to that point. And would you know that I went on to have like one of the most internally empty years of my life. And a lot changed in that year for me. And it really was a huge eye opener. It was almost like God showed me like, hey, here's what you really want. I'm going to give you exactly what you want. I'm going to let you believe what you believe, but you're going to learn that that's not always the case. And I'm thankful for that lesson. And again, so I'm a shining example of how external success, doesn't guarantee peace. And so, over the last 5 years, I've been working a lot on who I am on the inside, more so than any time before, because I have those added life experiences, and I listen to others a lot more intently. It's not like just like, oh yeah, how like we are when we're growing up, or listen to our parents, and then the rubber doesn't meet the road until we make the mistake and our parents are right. And we don't want them to think that, but that's kind of the case. And so, the other thing to keep in mind is this, is that you can have achievement without fulfillment if things aren't right on the inside. And a lot of us are out there for for those dopamine hits. We're all out there just for that instant gratification. we just see enough of those just to weather through the day because we need to cover up what's really going on inside. And it's really hard to not do that when it's within reason, when it's within reach, when we don't know what's going on the inside. And I know a lot of us even, step out in faith to get professional help. And sometimes that professional help just doesn't move the needle in a lot of cases. Thankfully for me, I've had some really quality individuals in my lives, but how many of us know that I had to go through a lot of them to find the one here and there? And if you need advice on a good place to start, I'll share with you offline a great place that I wish I'd have started 10, 15, 20 years ago that still serves me today. Another thing that was a distraction to me and helped me to chase external successes as opposed to in external freedoms versus working on my internal success and experiencing internal freedoms was I would always keep it busy. And I'm going to know that just because you're busy doesn't mean you're aligned with who you're supposed to be, who you could be, who you truly want to be if you gave yourself the chance and the opportunity. The same that we invest in continued education or, going to trade school or grad school or whatever the case may be to have, more qualifications to step into different aspects of our professional careers. How many of us know that we should channel a lot of those same energies to doing the internal work, the internal investments as well? And again, I know today is Freedom Friday. I'm wearing my red. But this is a freedom that I think truly helps us to appreciate all the other freedoms that we have within reach. And so that's my goal today, is just to kind of shed some light on that. Another thing I had learned earlier this week, and I wrote it down, was this: internal freedom is about ownership. What does that mean exactly? Owning your choices. That's a big one. That's a challenging one for a lot of us. We don't necessarily want to just own our choices. A lot of us, because we're human, we want to play the blame game. It's so easy to just try to shift the blame or put the responsibility elsewhere, but it's only up here. It's not in real life. It doesn't complete what's on the inside, because deep down inside, we really, really do know the truth. And so another part of that is, not only owning your choices, but owning your mindset. That's a big one, right? I look forward to Monday's Mindset Making Monday episode. We already put the topic out there, and it's going to build upon what we're talking about today. But I'm looking forward to just exploring the possibilities about mindset and how that could help us internally, and how that once we start to fix and patch up the things on the inside, how it makes the outside experiences so much sweeter. And it's not just about the money, and it's not just about the things. It helps you to see and appreciate those little experiences where they add up. And it's just a phenomenal experience that I've been able to enjoy these last few years. And I look forward to what's going to unfold for the rest of 2026. And how many of us know that once you build that rhythm, that flow, that happiness and joy that flows from the inside out, that you begin to attract a lot more experiences and individuals and enlightenments that make everything so much sweeter. And what the other cool part is that the external successes, whether it's professional or spiritual, they start to follow, and they make life that much more enjoyable. So again, ownership, freedom, internal freedom starts with ownership. And you know what? Here's a tricky one: owning the past without being trapped by it. I'm going to pause for a moment just so you can let that sink in for a little bit. Owning your past without being trapped by it. I had shared with you that, about 5-6 years ago, I had experienced, some pretty phenomenal external successes. And I was left feeling emptier than ever. And that's part of my past. I own that part. I'm glad that it happened. I shared that a little bit earlier on this episode. It doesn't trap me. It empowers me. It enlightens me. It says so much about me. Part of me is really encouraged, because hey, look what's possible professionally for you. But look everything you've been able to accomplish over the last 4 or 5 years. And so blending the two together, owning my mindset, owning my choices is just so empowering. And in the same space, in the same conversation, the same topic, I'm just going to just throw something out there and let you just chew on it. I'm not going to do a deep dive on it, but within internal freedom is about ownership. A huge component to that success, and this is something I struggled with in the beginning, but it's just so freeing, so liberating for me today, is letting go of comparison. Letting go of comparison. The last thing I want to touch on, and the number 3 thing I would love for you to take away on today's live stream, Freedom Friday live stream, last Friday of February. This 2026 is flying by, and I hope you're enjoying it. I hope these live streams are adding as much value to you as it is to me. As I say this out loud and throw it out into the universe, it's very empowering for me, but it also holds me accountable, and I freaking love it. The number 3 thing that I wrote down earlier this week that I wanted to contribute on this Freedom Friday, Internal Freedom Friday, is you build freedom from the inside out. And I've already alluded to that up to this point, but I just want to just drive that point home. And you've heard me say on several other of the live streams that our thinking, what we marinate up here, seeps into the heart. And what's in the heart, and there's ancient scripture to back this up, what is going on in the heart comes out of the mouth. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I'm going to know that what we're speaking leads to our actions. Sometimes it leads to our inaction, but still, an inaction is still an action in and of itself, right? And of course, our actions lead to results, and it starts from the inside. What's going on up here? What are we feeding our mind? We just talked about that earlier this week. What are we feeding our mind? And decisiveness builds confidence. Once we just feel that conviction and we just go for it because that's what our conviction says, that's what our gut says, we're going to trust our instincts. That builds confidence. Even if it doesn't pan out the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. If you've been following my live streams, you know that we started off pretty rough. And I'm not even saying that we have a grade A product today, but check this out. I'm very intentional about completing 2026 with these. And so more day by day, getting a little bit more confident. And consistency builds discipline. So for me, this is about discipline, staying consistent about discipline, putting out there things that I wish people would put out towards me. And maybe they did. And I want to do it not on a one-on-one basis like I have been these last few years, every Monday night, every Friday night, but on a day-to-day basis. And the last bullet point that I just want to touch on is discipline builds options. If we're looking for better options in life, then let's elevate. Let's change the way we think. Let's change the way that we act, and adopt a freedom mindset, that we are internally free from all the bondage that is self-imposed and unnecessary. And wealth and opportunity simply amplify what was already there. I made a note of that. I wanted to share that with you, but I want to close with this. Don't chase external freedoms, hoping that it fixes the internal chaos. You know, my good friend shared that advice with me, that you could out-earn your problems. And man, as much as I wish that was true, it couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. And the last thing I want to say is this, once you fix what's on the inside, it doesn't have to be fully fixed. I don't think we ever get to a point that we're fully fixed, but just better than we were yesterday, right? That's when the things on the outside begin to align. And sometimes that doesn't look the way we wish it would look, but sometimes it means that we cut off the relationships, the people, the things, the bondage that we should have never taken with us from 2025 into 2026. And for a lot of us, myself included, maybe it's more than just from one year to the next. Maybe it was from one decade to the next. And then for those that want a high level overview, it could be from one generation to the next. And I love my kids so much, and I just want to just pay it forward to that next generation and to my children's children. And that's that legacy piece that we like to talk about, and just be able to just forward happiness and wholeness and internal well-being. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this Freedom Friday, TGIF. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Spring training is in full effect, and I hope everyone's enjoying their dose of baseball. Getting close to March Madness. March starts next week, and so the college basketball madness is right around the corner. I'm super excited. And again, if we have a touch base in the last week or two, let's catch up. Shoot me a text. Let me know what you like, don't like about this, when we can grab that next cup of coffee. So until next time, have a fantastic day, and God bless.